Yo, welcome back. Return to the Mac. Episode,
what it is.
Put a little DJ mix on that joint that time.
Episode 97, M.A.C. Moss, Andrew, Carl.
Yeah.
What's poppin'? That's Cam Hayward, by the way.
We back.
I'm a fucking stud.
Alrighty.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah, it is what it is. Call it what you
9-7. That was a good year.
9-7? That was a good one for you?
It's a good year. What was that? 9?
I'm sure it was great. I was like 5, so I'm sure it was a great year.
Youngin', son.
Kindergarten, stage with my first friends and
She
shit.
was on stage in kindergarten getting it in. Was you rapping?
No, I don't think I was rapping at that time.
He was a little teapot.
No. I don't think I was doing that either. I forget. I mean, I think I was in a play. I remember I was in a play. I was a lion, though.
That makes sense.
I was a lion.
It was the Wizard of Oz. You were the coward. You was the coward.
They want the Wizard
You've
of Oz,
always been a cowardly lion.
Nah, bro. I got heart.
I got hard.
I got heart, son. Real shit.
I got heart. Well, what's good? What happened this week?
Man, the weather fucking changed back on us.
It did.
That's what the fuck happened.
It
Yeah, it's
did.
got cold all of a
God,
sudden. Yeah.
dog.
Windy as a motherfucker.
Shit is wild.
We're so old though when we mention the weather every time.
Every
It's the first
time,
thing
right?
we're talking about.
Because it just changed your whole mood in a sense.
It does. It really does affect stuff. But for real, I don't even really go outside.
Really?
Even when it's
Same.
sunny and stuff out,
Same.
like I'm
well,
I feel better.
I like
but
sitting outside a lot. You know.
Yeah,
no doubt.
yeah,
No doubt.
I'm always sitting outside.
that's-
So it's like
That's the end of the day. Not too much time in there, but yeah, it is what it is. Anything happened this week?
Significant.
personally?
shit happened.
Yeah, I mean, obviously there's a
Yeah, but
ton of stuff going on this
nothing
week.
personal
But
though. Like same old shit. Working. Had a little cookout yesterday at work. Was getting it in.
Yeah,
I saw it.
y'all had the fucking buffet line out there, bro.
Was getting it in on that big ass grill. They had to bring that
Yes.
truck trailer joint.
Get outta
Some
here.
big ass grill. I was like, oh, I'm about to get it in on this bitch. That shit was
That
nice.
was at work?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Had a
dope.
little cookout for the students.
nice.
Oh, tight. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Hey, damn. You got some leftovers, bro?
You missed
Taking
the
it
last
from
one.
work.
Last one we had motherfucking ribs and chicken. Whew.
Ooh,
Shit was busting.
y'all fancy over there.
Yeah, we try to show off a little bit.
I see you, bro.
A little bit.
Oh, no.
I almost got the vaccine this week.
Almost.
vaxxed
What
up?
stopped you?
The big vaxxed.
So I
Don't
mean,
you got to get one, though?
we've talked about the vaccine a little bit. I don't think any of us are in a rush to get it, correct?
I am not. No, I'm waiting for everybody else to mutate first.
And is anybody like absolutely not getting it? Like hard stance against?
I'm not pressed. I'm not really pressed at all to get it
I don't
at this
have.
point. So I don't know in the
Yeah.
future, but at this point, I'm not pressed at all to get it.
I would say I'm closer to the hard stance than getting it.
I assume so. I thought we were all pretty much in the same boat. That's where I've been at, though. I don't need it. At this point, it's kind of like I don't actually care enough to like take a hard stance on it.
Right.
Right. Yeah, I'm
because-
not telling people not to get it. Like, do your thing. Like,
I could care less what anybody else does. But even for myself, like, I don't want to get it because I do think it's kind of stupid to get something that hasn't been like fully tested out when I don't think I need it. But at the same time, when they tell me that I have to have it to go do something that's going
Right.
to be even the smallest inconvenience to me, I'll be like, all right, bet here, shoot me up. Let's get it
Right.
done.
man, I don't like that shit.
What's
I
that?
would think you would be hard on that stance too. If somebody telling you that you have to do something
Well, so in
in order to
general,
even
yes.
move around.
In general, yes. But the one thing, if they say I have to have it to go to Guatemala, I'm not going to not see my sister to
Right.
stick it to the government.
Right.
So I just assume I'm going to have to give in. So anyway, I looked into it. I was going to get it just because it will make my travel easier. But after you get the first one, they said you got to wait 28 days before you can schedule the second one.
Oh yeah, so you gotta get on
And
it.
then when you get the second one, it's not like fully done until 2 weeks after.
Oh,
So
wow.
I'm just going to run
So
out of time.
when's the trip?
That's in the May.
25th of May or
You don't-
something.
So I don't have
You
enough
cutting
time.
it close.
Yeah, you don't
Yeah,
have enough
I don't.
time.
I don't
You
have
don't
enough
have
time
time.
now. I could get
Oh,
the
yeah.
second one, but I don't have the 2 weeks in
Right,
between, so
right,
they
right.
won't acknowledge it.
Right.
So I'm not going to do it now, but I really was close to getting signed up and going to knock that out on Tuesday.
Yeah, might as well get that all done when you get back or something, or you can get your first one. I
Yeah,
guess.
well now I won't do
Okay,
it again.
you can't go then, right?
No, I can go. I just
you
have to have a
still
negative test.
Oh, okay.
I was just trying to avoid
alright,
the COVID
alright,
test
alright.
there and
Right,
back
right,
because I'll have
right,
to do it both
Oh,
ways.
so if you get
card.
vaxxed, you don't have to get tested to leave and come back at all?
Correct.
Well, I thought you could still get it.
I don't know all the rules. It may be up for
That's
like a
kinda
certain
odd.
amount of time, and
That's
then it's
kinda
no
odd.
longer valid. I'm not sure.
That's kind of odd, but I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah. But I mean, I think that's the only thing that would be like forced that I would cave into immediately. So if I can't get it for this trip, now when I get back, I mean, it'll be another year before I go again.
Why?
I may not get vexed at this point, but
Shit's
all in all, it really is a convenience to me. Is really what I'm looking at. I'm not like a hard vax. This is good or bad. It's just this is a pain in the ass. If it can make it easier,
Right.
I mean, I haven't been vaccinated for anything. I'm sure I probably got like the normal vaccines, like you get as a baby.
Yeah.
But like, I don't get the flu shot or nothing like that. So
Same.
I'm kind of gonna treat it probably like that.
I had a job where it was mandatory to get the flu, and I hated that shit.
Really?
It was the only time I would get sick.
Oh yeah.
I didn't
I'm
know
just
they
like,
could do that.
and ever since I left that job, I haven't taken it. I haven't gotten the flu.
Well, yeah. I mean,
So
when you
it's
get
just like,
vaccinated,
that's been
like,
years. So it's just like,
people, especially after the second shot, they say the COVID shot or whatever, they say they feel like shit. So
Yep.
right.
Talk to a lot of people like that. But oh well.
that's
We don't
tough.
want to talk about COVID. We don't have to talk about COVID, but we
Yeah.
got more bad news to talk about, or not fun
Man,
topics at
it's
least.
been a rough month a little bit too.
I mean, the first one's kind of good news. We're talking about Derek Chauvin.
So that was that Wednesday?
Smoking on that show.
I guess it doesn't really matter. Midweek at some point, the verdict came in on Derek Chauvin trial, and I believe they were only, I just went blank on the word, but I believe the jury was only talking about it for like 4 hours,
Yeah.
6 hours.
Yeah,
something
right,
like that. It was a
right,
pretty
right,
quick
right.
verdict. Came through with guilty on
3 counts.
all 3 charges, which were murder 2, murder 3, manslaughter 2, I believe.
Yep.
I think so.
Something to that effect.
Yep.
Sounds
I
correct.
believe sentencing is coming up relatively soon, next couple weeks or so. But what were your thoughts on just the initial verdict that came out?
I mean, well, we hadn't been talking about it like really in the past few weeks. It's been going on. How long has the trial been going? Like 3 weeks? Something like that?
About
Not
three,
sure.
3 or 4 weeks, something like that.
I kept seeing clips and stuff from it because you can't get away from it. You always looking at it and seeing it. And once I saw the cops testify against him, I was like, oh, it's a wrap. That's something you usually don't see. Like the chief of police for his station testified against him.
Yeah.
So it's like when that is like, all right, they letting them fry. They gonna let them fry on this. So
Yeah, I mean,
It wasn't that
honestly,
surprising
I
to me.
wasn't surprised by it just because I felt like it was one of them things, especially the way the world is today. If he was not guilty, it would be a fucking uproar. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you think so though?
yeah, for sure.
Oh, 1,000%.
For sure. It would have been a fucking uproar, riots and shit.
You think it would have been as bad as last summer?
Maybe worse.
it would have been worse.
Maybe worse.
You get off on it now? Nah, I think it would have been even worse. So, I mean, I was already anticipating some kind of like guilty verdict. It's cool. I think it was great that justice is served in that way. And I mean, there's a bunch more that probably need the same, but we'll see how those unfold as it goes. But I wasn't really surprised by it. No, I wasn't.
I was kind of surprised, but I think in general, I'm a fairly optimistic person, but when it comes to like a big thing,
Right.
whether it be like a trial like this or even like something non as important, but like a championship for my team or something, like I try to set myself up for the worst case scenario.
Right.
And if it's better than that, it's better than that.
Right.
So no, I was expecting that Minneapolis was about to burn to the ground. He was going to be not guilty and it was about to get nuts. So in that regard, I was relieved to hear that he was guilty on all charges. And other than that, though, it's not something that I've been following. I don't really care to follow.
The thing to me that I'm more like interested in is like how much time will they actually give him though? Because it's one thing to say he's guilty, but how much time will he actually spend in prison?
I haven't thought about
he should
that.
get a lot.
Yeah, with murder, I don't think there's
It's second
A lot
degree
of, like,
murder, it's manslaughter, and
But added up all 3 is about 40 years over his head max.
I don't know what the sentences is for, or
I don't think second degree
what the
murder
minimum and
is
maximum.
like a minor charge, though. I understand.
It's definitely
I know
not,
what you're
but it
saying.
doesn't carry 40 years necessarily. It's
all 3 though. You got all 3 of them, so it's like
I expect like a 10-year sentence, something like that.
that's light.
And I feel like that would be heavy-handed. That's me being optimistic about it. Is him getting 10 years.
10. That's
what I think. We might look at something much less. You might be seeing 3 to 5, some shit like that. People get off on manslaughter. Will set shit off.
I think if they do something like that, give them a 3 to 5, then people gonna set shit off. Cause y'all played us. You got 3 counts and he get 3 to 5 for killing somebody?
Bro, I don't see him doing that long in prison. Like I said, 10 years is the most I can see them giving them. I'll be shocked if it's more than that. But we'll have to see. I don't know what you think those sentences carry, or those charges carry necessarily. What the minimum and maximum is for each charge. So, especially in whatever state it is. So, I think, like I said, being optimistic is 10 years.
In 10 years, you would think that would make you mad?
No, it wouldn't make me mad. I think, of course, I wouldn't be mad about it. I think a lot of people might be, but I would look at it and say, hey, it's better than what it would have been 20 years ago for a guy like that. He wouldn't even been on trial
like that.
It is what it is. It's
the world watches man kill a man.
Yeah. Progress is slow. It's surely coming, but it's slow. So I'm not expecting
to get a light 10 for that.
Why not give him first?
Light because I ain't never been in prison, so I
in this case, though, if we talk why not give him? Why was the charge first degree murder then?
Because
it wasn't in plan.
Yeah, you can't.
First degree, you planned to kill him that day. You woke up that morning and planned the situation.
I don't think 10 is that light, to be honest with you. He did it. But I think whenever the sentence comes out, people will be mad no matter what. Because there are
You think so?
Yes, because I'm not saying
everybody wants life.
I'm not saying the vast majority. I'm not putting a number on it, but there are people that, unless he dies, will not be happy. So I think whatever the
extreme, I don't think I don't know. I don't believe in death killing because I don't believe in the death sentence, so to speak. You should suffer it by being in prison for a long rest of your life. I don't think he should
get that, but I'm saying there are people that will be upset no matter what the outcome is.
Regardless of how much time he has, I'm sure he won't have a great time in prison. So I couldn't imagine a police officer
they better protect him.
A good time or a good stay in a prison facility. So regardless, I think he'll pay for it in some kind of way. And we'll just see how it unfolds. But yeah. Why don't you believe in the death sentence?
For certain stuff like murder, I don't think somebody should get killed for murder. They should suffer in prison.
Yeah, but then you gotta I think the way that the death sentence is I hate the fact that people spend 30, 40 years on death row before they knocked off.
So it's essentially the same thing.
Yeah.
Just leave them why are you gonna make them wait 20 years and then
I feel like it's almost like an easy stay for people. Why they're gonna get used to being in prison anyway. So it's just they're living out their days. It's not torturous or anything. I'm not saying that a person should be tortured for all of that time, but I think if it's a death sentence, I kind of believe in it for certain things. I think it should.
For certain things, maybe.
But I think it should be a lot more swift. As soon as this motherfucker's sentence, necessarily not knocked off the next day, but he ain't staying around for 5-10 years before that thing's completed.
This is part of the difficulties that doesn't get talked about when we have these criminal and jail discussions, prison discussions. Is I agree more with what you're saying, or I kind of think that way too, that in certain situations it should be used, and it doesn't make sense to keep somebody on death row for 40 years before you kill them.
Right. A lot of people die before they even make it there.
But at the same time, for all of those situations, you also hear about the guy that's been on death row for 15 years and finds new evidence that exonerates him or something like that.
Right.
It's not a simple
dry
kind of situation. Because I agree with you. Ultimately, I feel a worse penalty would be be in prison for 60 years.
They have to sit there in that cell and think about what you did for the rest of your life.
Right.
Like,
but then on the other hand,
that's the real fucking punishment.
Why should we be paying money to keep this guy living?
Exactly. That's taxpayer dollars.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we're giving him food.
He got a free stay, essentially. I mean, like, he's not going to have to pay for any of this.
It's a lot of stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but free stay and it's prison still.
I say, look,
but I'm saying I don't want my money to go towards
some plush hotel or something. Like,
I don't want no tax money going towards keeping somebody alive that we've determined is going to die. We're sentencing to death.
I like the
whole waste of our money.
Medieval approach. Let's stone the motherfucker.
Guillotine.
Off with his head.
Off with his head.
Guillotine seems way doper.
Whatever.
That pedophile shit, it could be off with his head.
I mean, that's where, like, because murder, like, those type of things can be a mistake. I get it. I'm not really necessarily into it. Like, unless it's somebody's shooting up a school or something, they should be taken out swiftly.
I mean, first degree murder.
But where, like, pedophiles and stuff, I don't think those people can be reformed necessarily. I think you should be kind of taken out, or at least I don't really know. But I have no sympathy for a pedophile, so whatever happens to him, happens to him. Yeah, that's fine. I think that's reasonable.
Castration.
Yeah, why not?
I think so too.
Why not though? Because that's the only way to keep this person from really doing harm or like verifying that because all these motherfuckers have to register to be a sex offender, but that don't mean they're not going to do it again, or that doesn't mean that they actually will register. You know, right. We seen that with like Nicki Minaj's boyfriend, like he didn't do it, and that's why he went back to jail. So I'm all for the castration for them. I think that's probably better than just necessarily like killing them. I'm cool with go ahead and taking them out too, but castration, because just go ahead and embarrass them.
That's when we get into the torture thing. That's torture.
No, so you can do like surgery.
Yeah, I mean it's a surgical procedure.
You can do a surgical procedure. He just go wake up and his dick.
I was just thinking of like the theatrics of the
guillotine. No.
Guillotine with a scene in it.
Right. Just line the motherfuckers up.
That shit would be wild.
You didn't even clean the blade off at that point.
Oh shit.
No. I think it could be.
We're here right now.
Yeah,
we are really here.
We're definitely
here. We've arrived.
But I don't know, man. I think prison for those type of people shouldn't be a smooth stay. It's just, and I feel like a lot of the times that's what it is. It's, I mean, it's different for a pedophile. I think if you motherfuckers know what you did when you're in there, you in for it. But
a hard time.
Some terrible people that we're paying for to pretty much stay and be fed and I don't know, just live out their life. And I think it shouldn't be that easy for them. For certain people, so we'll see what happens to Derek.
So what happened? Like right after that, what was that little girl's name? 15-year-old girl,
Keisha or something like that.
Yeah, I'm not sure her name.
Something like that.
Yeah, Machaya might have been.
Got killed right after that verdict.
Yeah, I mean, so what happened was a police officer. I forgot where this even occurred, what state it occurred in.
Yeah, I don't remember.
But apparently. The girl called the cops. That's the story. And some girls. She was
about to get jumped or something.
There was a fight going on, and the girl was armed with a knife. The girl who called the cops, who was fighting, who was getting jumped, was armed with a knife. So when the cop pulls up, apparently the story that he got was that, chick was out there stabbing people or something. So when he gets there, she has a knife in hand. I guess she's fighting with a girl, and I guess he gave some orders for her to stop. It didn't stop, and he shot her like 4 times in the chest. Yeah, and laid her down quick. Definitely, I think it's just a sad story. I don't have enough information about it to say if the cop was necessarily wrong. I just feel like the system is wrong more so than the cop. Like I've been on this stance for a while, but I feel like cops shouldn't have lethal weapons. I feel like their job is to protect and serve. I know that they're doing a dangerous job, but so fucking be it. This is what you signed up for. You shouldn't have lethal weapons. We have things that exist like rubber bullets. Give them those. If they need lethal weapons, they should ask for permission for extreme situations for these lethal weapons. And it's a show that I watch, Watchmen, on HBO. That's how that is in the show, where if the cop evaluates the situation to be a situation where he will need a lethal weapon, he have to go back to his car, have to call in and say, hey, I have a such and such going down. Please unlock my firearm. And of course, you're going to get in some situations, I guess, where maybe you don't have enough time for these things, but you still have weapons available to you. Like I said, you can have rubber bullets, you got tasers, you got a baton, all of these things. And there's other countries that don't allow or don't permit their officers to carry weapons, and their crime rate is much lower than what we see here in America. And I feel like what we show or what we teach is just that, if they carry them, then why wouldn't somebody on the street feel like they have to carry them as well too? And
so how somebody would respond to that would be like, the police officer don't know the situation they come into. If they have a weapon on them, they can kill them.
Right. I mean, you're right. But I'm saying you're armed. You're armed with something.
But going off that, I'm just tired of seeing death being the first option. Like shoot to kill being the first option every time in these things. Like that's the thing that kills me. Like the first reaction was just to shoot her down.
Well, she was armed.
Well, she had a knife.
She wasn't armed with a firearm.
She was attacking somebody else.
She was stabbing somebody. She was about to stab somebody with a knife. That's what
still want a firearm though. So it's like
but what if it's your daughter that's about to get stabbed? I mean, this has been the angle that is taken in this discussion, but it's a legitimate question.
I would say good shot.
I wouldn't want them. I never want them to shoot at all because first of all, one of those bullets could have hit my daughter standing right there beside her. What if it would have hit both of them?
I mean, that's
I wouldn't want. I still wouldn't have want shoot to kill to be the first reaction unless they had a firearm. If they had a firearm, different situation.
Right.
But we talk about a knife. You could have tased her, took her down. She wouldn't did nothing with that knife after that.
Why not rubber bullets though? In that situation, and rubber bullets can definitely kill somebody because it's a projectile covering extreme force and speed and shit. So it can definitely take somebody out. But the likelihood, the gun or bullets are literally made to do that. They're not made to stop somebody. They're made to put somebody down. They're made to kill.
And they have no name. So you fire that hard, all them group of people standing right there.
Unless you want to change.
He was on target with this shot.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say there's too many people around. My daughter could get shot as well. And then also ask the question, why did it take 4 shots? I mean, if you think he's accurate, then
he definitely
one person was accurate. But that's a side point. I don't think these discussions should be had together at all, in my opinion. My greatest frustration with this topic in general is that nobody wants to have honest discussions about the intricacies of each situation. Everybody can, when I say everybody, I'm not referring to you two specifically, but you see most of the arguments are, the Chauvin thing happens and then they're like, well, here they are killing us again. Like as if they're the same situation. I just don't think that's the case. I think you can easily make a strong case that I don't want to say strong case.
I think the only comparison is that another cop has killed a black person. That's the only comparison that you can say with all of them, no matter what situation.
But you can't put it all in that same bubble without context.
But it's the same thing. Like it's the same endpoint. But a cop killing a black person again.
Yeah, but that's not the same scenario.
Yeah, right. Because that could have been anybody. I feel like in this scenario, it could have been white, brown, Chinese, but whatever. What we
consistently keep seeing is that. So that's why.
But you can see, at the same time, don't we think that that's what the media wants us to see?
Yeah. You can say that's what we keep seeing, though.
Yeah, but that's an important thing. I think that's the biggest issue.
Right. This is what's propelled. This
right
is what's
now,
pushed
race and hate, especially amongst races, is the greatest driving force towards clicks on the internet, towards viewers on TV and online. That is the thing that's in right now specifically, and everything, if they can add a tinge of race to it, it makes the story pop. So I don't even know how to go about having this discussion because we have limited time, and I don't like.
Yeah, I didn't want to go too deep. I was trying to get into to get into the LeBron tweets.
I like that. But I do think the other reason I don't want to get into it is because other people don't know me as well. I would like to talk to y'all some point in time, maybe not even on camera, about in general how the impact of the way that the media covers all this stuff right now.
Yeah, that could be a whole pod.
Because I think I don't want to. I think when I talk about this, a lot of people hear me saying the problem is not that bad and y'all should not be afraid, which is not ultimately what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
But I do think there is a psychology behind when somebody consistently tells you they're going to kill you. They're going to kill you.
Right.
Kill you. Look at this video. Look at this video.
Definitely.
Then every time
that's
you
what
go
I'm saying.
into
Like, why we got to keep seeing this?
Right. Well,
every other week. Like,
do you personally though? Like, I guess
going to be my next question.
I don't fear police. I don't have no fear like of a cop because I feel like I know my rights well, and you know, I mean, I know I'm going to know when I'm in the wrong or whatever, but I don't have any fear of the police.
Is it fair to say that is why that video from 2 weeks ago with the army person fully dressed out getting mistreated by the police hit home for you?
Yeah, I mean, because
that's a situation where this person specifically is being polite, compliant, and doing everything that they're supposed to do, and some dickhead is just full of shit.
Right. That's I would say as a whole, I don't fear police, but that particular cop or the cop that has that mindset, I mean, of course you would have fear of because they are pretty much holding your life in your life in their hands at that point.
That's what I was asking. Have you ever been in that situation?
I've been in plenty of situations where I've been. I was in high school, bro. I was in a high school basketball game, my junior or senior year. And I was pulled aside by a cop and asked for my ID for no reason. And me and him got into an argument at that point because I'm telling him, no, I'm not giving you my ID. I'm a high school student. You know what I'm saying? I'm chilling at a high school game. And like me and him are going, like literally going back and forth. And I'm just telling him like, bro, it's not happening because I know my rights. I know you can't just, this is not a stop and ID state. You can't just stop me and ID me for no reason. I've done nothing wrong. And he literally just said, because you look like somebody I have a warrant for.
Right.
It's like, no, I'm black with dreads, bro. You know what I'm saying? I look like my people. You know what I'm saying? That's it. So it really took my one of my coaches to come up and kind of diffuse or what's the word I'm looking for?
I think diffuse is the word.
Diffuse the situation. Or whatever. And, you know, it ended up just us walking our separate ways. But I was pissed about it. You know, I was mad because, like I said, I felt like my rights was violated at that point. That's happened to me multiple times.
Right.
I've been on a basketball court playing basketball. Cop pulls up and wants to pull me off the court because, again, I look like somebody he has a warrant for.
Right.
All he did was ask for my name. He didn't ask for no ID or anything. He just asked for my name. Like, I could have told you I was anybody. You know what I'm saying? You like that, that's the type of shit. Like, yeah, it happens to me. I understand. But like, I feel like if you know your rights and stuff like that well, then for the most, you don't have to fear these people. You know what I'm saying? They're just regular people.
But yeah, I hear all that you're saying about not fearing, but I think one of the scariest things in the world is when them lights go off behind you and you riding, bruh.
You
just never know how it's gonna go.
That's anybody.
You never know how it's gonna go. You never know this motherfucker pissed off. He about to be on some shit. Like, it's like, oh, here we go.
That's for sure.
It's about to be some bullshit.
I would say about 80% of the time I'm gonna have my pistol.
So it's not like a fear, like I'm scared, shaking in my boots, but it's on some like, oh fuck, what this motherfucker about to say I did, or what? What's about to be the shit now?
Right, I get it, but it's just, and really 80% of the time, again, I'm gonna have my pistol with me. So,
right,
you know, that may or may not be a conversation.
That might be something to kind of, you got your paperwork and all that shit. Like, you can run that up and like, all right.
No, I don't have any paperwork.
I mean, well, all
for
right.
my gun.
See, well. That should be something you should think about, maybe.
Maybe we should cut that.
You don't.
Maybe we should cut that.
This is Virginia. You don't have to have registration.
I didn't know.
No, you don't. You as long as it's a legal file, somebody got it registered. But that's why you can do private sales and stuff. Like, I can sell you a gun right now.
I did not know that.
And all I really have to do is write up, say, I sold this gun to Andrew on April 26th of 2021.
He didn't sell it to me. He's bullshitting.
just saying that's all we have to do. You sign it, and then we're good. So if you use that gun and it comes back as anything, or it registered in my name, I say, hey, I sold it to this man, and so they can find you there.
Dangerous game.
I did not know that.
Yeah, you don't have to have your firearm registered, and that's why I don't want to get a concealed carry, because I don't even want you to know that I have mine. If I don't want you to know, because first of all, you have no right to search my car anyway. So if I have it tucked under my seat and I don't want to expose it, that's how I feel. You know what I'm saying? Like, but for the most part, if a cop comes up, all you have to do is drop your clip, unload it. I'm gonna make it visible, put it up front, and just to let you know, hey, I got my firearm in the car. There's nothing they could really do about it. They might ask you.
It sounds so simple, but that doesn't seem like just that's clean, simple of a situation.
It should be.
It should be.
That's how I was going to go.
Should be.
If you're dealing with me, that's how it's going to go down.
But
because I'm going to dictate.
As a white person, I wouldn't feel comfortable with that.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm uncomfortable. I'm not a gun person. So, I mean, I'm not either, I'm the wrong person to ask, but I would feel less comfortable with a gun on me. Even understanding that I'm not doing anything wrong, the rules are what they are. I would feel less comfortable. But I feel you.
I mean, you just gotta explain the situation to them when they come in. Like, hey, my gun's right here, my hands are right here. That's pretty much it. And if they got a problem with it, and you want to probably record these interactions, because if they got a problem with it beyond that, then they're breaking the law.
I'm about to say,
these are your constitutional
we've seen
rights.
Those situations being taken care of like that and end in death too.
Yeah, I mean, look,
so it's like,
you're gonna pay my family for the rest of their lives, and I'm fine with that. So I'm fine with that. I'm cool with that part.
Hey,
yeah, I'm gonna leave
going off this.
I'm just saying.
I'm gonna leave it alone.
Going off this, LeBron was on fire with the tweets. And he decided to post the police officer's picture that shot the girl and say, "You're next." Quickly deleted that motherfucker. Quickly.
I was surprised.
I think he should have.
I was surprised he deleted it.
Yeah,
then went on to explain himself in more tweets.
I think he deleted it because he didn't want it to be divisive.
Well,
necessarily.
I was going to say, I actually, now that you say that, I did see a tweet where he explained that part of it. That his initial tweet was, I guess, basically becoming more the topic of discussion than anything else. So in that regard, like, I have a lot of respect for him deleting it. Yeah. Even if that's how he felt, like that's more or less saying, this is my opinion, I believe in it, but it's not as important as it causing further division and problems amongst people.
Well, we live in the internet age, so people got it and screenshot it anyway.
Yeah, that's
you can't get away from it after you delete it.
It is what it is at that point. Yeah. But you know, it might as well. I get why he took it down.
Take it off your page. I guess.
You know, I think it would have been fine if he would have left it up too. But for people to take it and spin it as if he was inciting violence on police officers is nuts to me. He said, "You're next," but because of what happened to Derek Chauvin. Did Derek Chauvin get beat up? Was he killed? Was he mugged? No, that's not what happened to him. Yeah. He got placed on trial and was found guilty.
But like we just said,
that's what he's saying.
The media gonna spin it.
It's just people taking this shit out of complete context, and I just look at these people like idiots. Because how did you even arrive? How did you deduce this? Like, how did you arrive at this conclusion?
So let me speak to that, because I agree with you that I don't think this tweet was that big of a deal, and I don't think it should have been a big deal. The reason it was blown up is because it's part of that bigger fight. I don't even want to say bigger fight, but there's a clear group of people that participate.
Well,
they participate on the front line of all of these issues, and I don't want to say these issues like there's nothing wrong with speaking out and using your voice or whatever. But there's a lot of people that are just looking to fight each other.
Right.
And LeBron clearly stands on one side of the argument, and the people on the opposite side are going to fight LeBron no matter what. And LeBron is going to fight against whatever they say no matter what. That's why I don't like being a part of these the discussions with regular people that I don't know.
Right.
Because we're not actually trying to resolve anything or come to a conclusion. It's just, oh, he said that? Fuck LeBron.
That's it.
He's trying to incite violence.
Yeah.
Right.
And then when they say that, somebody else from the other side is like, shit, they don't fucking care about people. They're racist. And it's like, yo, this is just fucking stupid. This is so dumb. What are we doing?
Well, this is what America is driven and built off of, really. This is a strategy to keep people at odds. That's how people are controlled. Because if we really were to come together at some point, we could take down anything, but unfortunately, like I said, it's structured to be this way. They always use race or something, or classism, something to keep people divided and in order to keep people under control. That's just how it's going to work.
I don't necessarily agree with all that. I think it's just the capitalism and money and.
I mean, but that's built off. That's control, right? I mean, when we talk about that, how do you keep the money in a certain spot without controlling the people and all of these things? Like it's about control. That's what it starts with. And how do you have the control is to make people fight amongst themselves instead of fighting against the people who are really the ones who are placing these things or putting these things in place. That's what I mean.
I guess
it's a distraction.
That's not something I really believe in personally, but I think racism is profitable and hate is profitable.
Right. So ultimately, right.
I guess we may ultimately be coming to the same conclusion. I don't think the motivation is the same, but I don't know if that's relevant.
Yeah, right.
Whether it's control or to make more money, it's
all the same.
Bad reason.
Right. I think it just funnels into the same thing if you're asking me. Like,
fair enough.
So yeah. I mean, it just sucks, but hey, it is what it is. Yeah.
Shit crazy. Well, since we going in on all this low stuff and get these, these RPs out the way.
Knock them out.
RP Black Rob.
Oh yeah.
RP Shock G.
Shock G for sure.
Fucking Digital Underground. Shit, RP fucking Terrence Clark. From Kentucky, 19 years old.
Said he's just about to enter the draft, man.
Just declared the day before.
He played at Kentucky last year?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I didn't watch them because they were so bad.
Supposed to be nice.
I hear that he was really good.
Nice. He just signed with Clutch Sports and declared the draft the day before.
And it was just a car accident? There wasn't anything?
Just a car accident.
Really wild?
Just a bad wreck.
Yeah, I guess he was just leaving basketball practice.
Wow.
Yeah.
And his friend was right behind him and witnessed it all. It sucks.
Shit crazy.
Life is fragile.
Yeah, right. It's how fast it goes, man. And you can
just say it.
From one moment, his whole life was in front of him to being gone. So it sucks. It is what it is, though.
Do y'all have any connection to the two rappers? They were so.
I fuck with Shock G.
Yeah.
I think Digital Underground is major.
Shock G gave us Tupac.
Yeah, right. I mean, he's major to hip hop.
Yeah, I guess I'm asking. Obviously, they're considered to be legends, or specifically Shock G.
Yeah,
they were before I was listening to stuff. So I mean, I know them. I know a few verses or whatever. I'm familiar, but
I remember vividly seeing the Humpty Hump video. Like, I remember vividly seeing that as a kid. That shit used to come on TV all the time. Like, that was a hot ass record at the time.
But was I a fan of him, like, personally? No. I wouldn't say the same. I would probably say the same about Black Rob. Like, I guess, I like those songs, I guess, or I've heard them.
I only know one Black Rob song.
Shock G was big behind the scenes.
Right, that's it. Yeah. And I only know that one Shock G song.
Yeah,
that's all I know.
Yeah. So he was on I Get Around.
And the verse, I Get Around. Right.
Yeah,
I died a nickel.
Yeah.
That was his run.
He's got a cool voice.
Yeah.
He's got the radio voice.
Smooth. Radio voice is a good way to put it.
I think about it. Play this shit that he got. I keep this clip. I keep seeing the Shock G, bro. I thought it was dope. And we all talk about voices. Let me see if I can get this shit off real quick. I thought it was dope the way he broke down these people's flows.
I think he's we talk about Tupac. Tupac raps from his nasal Tupac raps from his diaphragm. He was saying,
from the nasal palate.
Right.
Nas rhymes from the back of his throat. Biggie is a swinger. He swings like a horn player over jazz.
Right.
B-I-G-P-O P-P-A.
And he grew up off that jazz.
For
saw that in the doc.
D-E-A. He put more emphasis on the He's just spelling his name. But the flow, vicious. Pac, on the other hand, I think Tupac pulled from Martin Luther King, Malcolm X. I don't know when it is that we're gonna make it to the mountaintop. But one day all the children will be able to play together. It's like pouring those words out because you mean it. And that's why, I never had a father figure, but I was raised by the thugs and the drug dealers. That's why I love niggas. that singing that Pac was doing and stuff. What was the relationship?
Yeah, put that in the chat.
Yeah, I got you.
Put that in the chat.
Yeah, I've seen that a long time ago.
Fire. Like,
yeah,
he was in the background. He was good at producing and executive producing. Like, he executive produced Tupac's first album, Tupacalypse. And he basically gave him his first hit record, which was I Get Around. That was Tupac's first smash hit. So he was very intricate in the backgrounds. He worked with Dr. Dre a lot, big in LA. Shout out to Shock G, bro. He a legend.
That was so cool. I like that nerdy shit.
Yeah.
I like listening to people that are like experts into like the really smallest details of the song.
You've studied that. I mean, that's what I'm into. Like,
it's so sick.
It's more about than just listening to people's words, but it's like how are they delivering those words, and like everybody has like a different delivery
different cadence, different voice,
right. Different approach, and I don't know, especially the people here talking about like those lend to the next generation of how they'll approach their music and stuff like that. So it just goes like super deep. That's just somebody who literally is a student of the game type thing. Yeah. And I think if you want to be like not even necessarily successful in anything that you want to do, you probably have to have that level of detail of thought into what you're doing.
It's gonna be great. You got to know about that shit. You gotta go that deep in it.
For sure. Yeah, I saw that video a long time. I can't remember where I seen it at.
Yeah, it's from Doc. I'm trying to figure out what Doc was from.
Yeah. I saw it a long time ago, and it's one of them things that always stuck with me, especially when I was listening to Tupac a lot. Like, you'll realize
like he preaching.
Yeah, Tupac probably never had to do an ab workout in his life because that's where he spoke from. He spoke from his diaphragm so much. Like, if you speak like Tupac, bro, that shit's gonna contract so much, like, and you pushing everything you say. So it's like it's hard for it not to hit home, or hard for a person not to believe you because you're giving so much effort into everything that you're saying. So, for sure. That's
Shock G, man.
I think it's an important video in hip hop history.
For sure,
is that video of Shock G. I'm glad you played that for sure.
Definitely.
Well, we were talking earlier in the week about somebody else that has different flows, and we were talking about who they sounded like, what their influences may be.
Yeah.
That boy
Cordae dropped a 4-pack little EP earlier in the week.
Album
Just
coming
Until.
soon.
Was it correct? Called Just Until?
I believe so.
Yep. ...
Album
coming soon.
Really good 4 songs. I liked all 4 of them.
Yeah.
I sensed the level up in the creation of those 4 records.
Did you?
Yeah.
You mentioned that. Is there anything specific that you felt like went to the next level from before?
Which was great. He didn't have a lot of standout records. It was a couple joints. All 4 of these sound like they could be standout records, and he just put it out as a 4-pack. So that lets me know like, oh, he got some shit coming on his album. And this is how you coming with the 4-pack, the 1-off 4-pack. It was like, damn. That's where you taking us?
What I get from it, I just hear his influence, his music. Like, I guess he, you could just tell what he grew up on when I'm listening to it. Like, of course, we always heard J. Cole. Like the album, that was the most prominent thing when you listen to his first album. Is that you're going to hear J. Cole, and that's what you hear with the joint with Young Thug. To me, is that like that J. Cole kind of approach, because if J. Cole
on a hard track, I can see it.
When J. Cole gets on those hard type tracks, but then he gets into his other bag of influences. The Chance the Rapper, the Dreaming Colors. I feel like it's got Chance's thumbprint all over it. Then the other one.
Well, hold on, because we were talking about that one specifically. I told you I agree that the overall song very much gives me a Chance vibe, kind of Chance Kanye type stuff. Mm-hmm. You had mentioned something about the flow, though.
Yeah,
what were you saying about that?
Just the overall approach or flow, the cadences where he came in, like even the pitches of his voice are similar to what a Chance the Rapper would do, and especially the way they attacked the hook when he was coming in, like that high pitch and the flow of the hook is exactly how Chance approaches the song. It's just hard to be like Chance because his flow is one of the most unorthodox things that you'll ever see, and his voice is very distinct too. But his flow is specifically is so unorthodox, so it's kind of hard to mimic that because you don't know where Chance is going.
Right.
But I can see that was when he heard that beat. That's what he thought of, and I think he did a great job with it. I think like he's a chameleon of sorts when it comes to flows and how he's approaching it and stuff. But it's that other song too. I forgot what it is. The last track.
Thornton Street.
Yeah, Thornton Street.
Yeah.
I heard like a J type flow on that one. I'm not sure if you guys agree, but just like I don't know, that kind of nonchalantish flow that it comes with, and it's not like necessarily barred up heavily. It's just like everything that I say is a fact kind of deal. I felt like you could tell that he listened to a lot of Jay-Z growing up as well too, and that's where that's how he wanted to attack the song. Yeah. Only thing I can say about Cordae is when it comes to that being a chameleon type artist, is that at some point you're gonna have to find your groove. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe you have to put these things together, like funnel them together to find, boom, this is Cordae. Because when I'm listening to him, I'm not hearing Cordae necessarily. I hear Chance.
And that's why I kind of like disagree. I think you could say that about his first album. He was doing that a lot, sounding like a lot of people, more so Cole than anybody. When I heard these records, it sounded like him. It's like him coming into his own shit. And yeah, you could say the influences. Like, I'm sure he sounds like an artist that has an old soul that's done his history, listened to a lot of 90s, early 2000s type shit.
He definitely has.
So, yeah, I could see maybe he liked Hove. I think any spitter likes Hove. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you are a spitter and you don't fuck with Hove on some type of level, it's like you ain't really out here trying to be that then. So I get it. Yeah, I can hear that record, the tempo of the beat and the flow and shit. I can see where you can take it there. But I didn't hear the chants in it. I mean, I guess I can see because he was doing a little high pitch on the hook. But it just sounded like him, though. It sounded like him putting his spin on what he's doing to where he's finding his home. That's why I heard from him.
Yeah, I mean, maybe so. I mean, but I don't know. To me, it's just where it takes me to. And I guess it's not a knock on him or anything when I say that. It's really a compliment because it's like, again, it's Chance's style is so hard to do. You don't see people doing it, but it's so refreshing to hear it because it's unique when you hear that. And that's gotten just what it took me back to when I first heard Chance. Not the first time I heard him, but the first time I heard a whole album of Chance anyway. It was like the most refreshing thing in hip hop. To me anyway, and so that's the vibe and the feeling that I got from it. It's just like it's like a real good energy, happy, kind of like a happy feel, but also delivering with a unique kind of flow or cadence that he had on that track, and really kind of displaying his singing and stuff like that. So
that stuff doesn't bother me at all. I do know what you're saying. I think it is obvious to be able to hear influences and stuff. I don't even know what the difference would be, but with him, I don't get the vibe like he's trying to copy.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm not saying that. That's what I'm saying. It's not a knock because I'm like, I could just tell that these people influence you. I'm not saying you're trying to copy
Parables
him.
Track, like you was imitating Cole on that record. That Parables single he put out a couple months ago,
that one was
like
hard.
That sounded like a straight up Cole record.
With
like these records, it sounds like you finding your home a little bit now. It's not like you're just trying to imitate something that you was inspired by.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind it either way because it's all artists that I like.
Right,
so even if he's trying to do a version of Kanye, Chance, and Cole,
but that could be
probably
a knock.
Gonna like that album.
It could end up being a knock if you're
I get
too much like what Logic does or. Like where it's almost
Tory
like you're
Lanez
imitating a lot. Tory Lanez too.
He's the one I
always
always
knock
think
on him.
of.
It's like, you always just flipping these other people's tracks and doing shit similar to others. Like, all right,
and just pretty much taking the flow around with it.
Put your spin on it.
Honestly, I'm fine with it because I feel like once you put your words to it, it is putting your spin on it. You know that, like I've always operated like that.
With your words.
I'm fine with that completely because that's how I've always developed flows on my own. Like. I used to listen to Andre 3000, and I'll be like, I'm going to do that flow next.
Who was better?
I'm always going to say me.
I thought so.
I'll always say, like, I'm going to do that flow next. You know what I'm saying? Like, but that's how you expand as a rapper or as an artist, you know? I think it's fine. You can't just if you're not trying other people's flows and stuff like that. That's how you end up a papoose. You do the same flow every fucking time. You know what I'm saying?
He went there.
I'm just saying, like, there's no knock on it, but it's just
Papoose is nice, bro.
He can rap, yeah, but he don't have flow. And you got to study other artists to become a better artist.
I kind of see what you're saying with that a little bit. I'm not gonna let it go.
He don't have flow. It's all right. It's okay because every rapper don't have it. It's like Cassidy don't necessarily have a flow. You know what I'm saying? It's just bars, and that's cool. But I feel like you got to study other artists. So it's like, Tupac had a unique flow. Like just like Shock G was saying, like you got to study people like Big. You could tell that that's something that Jay-Z did, to study somebody like Big's flow.
So are you saying like people gotta find their cadence and their mode and then stick with that?
No, I'm not saying that at all.
I'm just asking.
I'm saying you got to. I'm saying you can. It's fine to take from other people. That's all, because that's all hip hop ever was.
Oh yeah,
it's right. So it's fine to borrow these flows, but once you put your own words to it, it's yours. You know what I'm saying? Like that's all I'm saying. It wasn't a knock when I'm saying like you could clearly tell that Chance was an influence on him on these records and stuff like that. I'm completely fine with it, but that's what I hear. I know once he heard that beat, he was like, I'm coming at it like Chance would come at it. That's what I'm saying.
What was the favorite song on here?
Dreams of Color. I think it was my favorite.
That was the
but
one.
Like the Life is More is slowly growing on me.
More life,
just more life. Yeah, life is more life.
Is it more life?
It's more life. Yeah, because it's the Drake shit. Yeah. I thought of Drake when I first saw it, but
Q-Tip sounds so fucking weird on that little hook.
He killed that.
But the shit's catchy.
It's so outside of the norm,
right?
That it just sticks in your head. You hear that little cadence of him kind of like whispering on the beat almost. It's really fire though.
Yeah,
that's a strange way to start the album.
It's a good
life.
Yeah,
it's so catchy. You got one.
So fire.
You just
I wish you would
singing
put a verse on there though for sure.
Well, right, I was expecting a verse. I wasn't expecting for him to do the hook.
Yeah,
but
I was okay with it.
Another critique I could say about it is
too. Y'all see that?
I didn't.
I might rather hear Cordae do the hook though, because I like at the end he kind of started.
I like that so
I like Q-Tip doing it. It grew on me, but I'm like, that's something Cordae could have did himself as well.
He could have, but. Because it was obviously one of them just where he had the opportunity to do something with Tip.
Right.
Hell yeah,
why would you turn it
do
down?
Your thing, bro.
I get it. Because at the end, he starts singing and I'm like, oh, that's really fire. You know what I'm saying? That's really, really dope.
It probably was a song he had already done. And he was like, oh, I'm about to put one of these out. You do the hook for this.
Maybe.
He probably wrote that hook and did it and everything. He probably
maybe. Hey.
What were y'all saying earlier about him singing?
I think he should expand upon that more. I think
the voice sounds good.
Have we heard that before?
It was on the last album a little bit, but it wasn't this good.
I don't remember it. I don't remember hearing singing last album. I'm sure.
He did it on. I thought we talked about it.
Anderson .Paak.
Yeah, we were surprised that he had a good singing voice on his last album. It's not like it was more rappy, of course. He did a couple hooks where it surprised me, like, oh, this dude can hit some notes. It's clear, like it's better than rap singing.
Well, that
type of deal.
That one that he was doing on the one that Dream in Color. Yeah. I don't remember hearing him sing like that.
He didn't sing like that.
That's what I'm saying. It sounds way better now. Like he been working on that shit.
Right. You can tell. Falsetto.
Yeah, he been working on that shit.
He can legit sing. It's not like I said. It's not rap singing.
Yeah,
he can hit some notes.
I see the level up. This next album gonna tell a lot.
I think I already know. I think I know who he is. I think I know who he is.
I think I need to hit the follow up.
Yeah.
I'm in.
I'm a fan.
I need to hit the follow up.
Right. He don't have to prove anything to me.
Now let me ask y'all this.
Oh. Let's go.
Because this has been my thing I've been running with for a while now. Will Cordae be one of the best in the game soon? Or considered one of the top three like Drake, Cole, and Kendrick have been?
I don't think he has enough clout for that.
Why?
But like it's just strictly a lyricist or like who construct that type of music. Yeah, I mean he can fall into that lane, but
he's doing the same shit that people we talk about, Chance, Cole, about people that are considered the best.
Maybe
he's making that for lane of music.
I think that lane of music it might be a bit like retired, or not necessarily like gone, but it's just a different avenue of who the best rappers are now.
This is what I've been saying.
Who are gonna like viewed as best globally. He's a real spitter kind of guy, and I think that avenue is like it's certainly carved. Like I don't know. I think he's versatile enough where he
makes great records.
He don't have a record that go.
And bops. because he had some bops on the first album too, but. It's just the era ain't want. Really, don't want that to be their best rapper. They want the little babies. I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna say that. Babies and the baby and
I'm not gonna say that no more. I'm not gonna say that because it's strictly based on what Cordae does. He has to have a radio type single to get his name.
That's what I'm saying. His next album's gonna tell a lot.
Hold on.
That's something that J. Cole and Kendrick did. Like, of course, they were viewed as real spitters, but they also put out radio singles. He's gonna have to come with that.
He hasn't called one yet.
I agree with Moss right here. The thing that I've disagreed with you on in this like bigger topic in general is I think that the times will change again, and it will come back. Yeah, I think it will come back. But I think you're right. I don't see him becoming what those three top tier rappers are, the Drakes, Coles, Kendrick.
I don't see it happening.
Because I agree with you. I don't think that with his age, the kids that are his age aren't looking for his music first. Right. I think they like it. I think there's a lot of people that
don't sit with music like they did when these guys were the guys.
Right.
We sat with them Drake albums and them Drake mixtapes and them Cole mixtapes. Right. And we kept playing them and kept going. Like, we sat with them shits. People heard Cordae shit and they on to next this week.
Yeah, so that's I think that's another problem is that, and this does go back to stuff that you've said before as well. He doesn't do enough bullshit. He doesn't do enough bullshit to be like with the attention. So when he's not dropping music, he's not talking about it.
Right.
Where the other people will drop an album, not drop for a while, but they're in the news for dating some chick,
girl, some drama called cheating. There's just some wild shit going on.
I do think that hurts him a little bit. I respect him for it, and I think in the long run he will gain more.
Right.
But I think it does probably limit his ability to. I don't think he can just catch one because the radio is not looking for a Cordae.
Got nothing to do with your ability no more. It's all the theatrics.
No, yeah, I mean, I think that's a little overstated though. At the same time,
the last part, I can't go full on with it.
Yeah, I think it's a little overstated.
I just think it impacts.
You know, music considered one of the best out.
Yeah, but you got to catch one. Like, he's gonna have to, and he got the versatility to be able to do it. So I think it's coming. That's why I think it's all up to Cordae at this point.
Do you think that's why he started singing that way?
Possibly.
Or do you think that's just an artistic decision?
I think he's just in his bag. I think he's just doing what he want to do. I don't think he's trying to catch one or be somebody like that.
I think it'll come for him. You'll hear him on the radio one day, and then you'll see him starting to get like more attention and notoriety and stuff like that. But he has to, in order to be on that tier with these other artists. This is what he's going to have to do. He's got to take it to that next like industry level.
Yeah. Well, I think a good sign for him is that even though his name doesn't seem to stay getting the attention, the projects he's put out, people seem to be willing to work with him.
Yeah, they respect him.
He can get Thug and Roddy Ricch to work with him from the new kids, and he can get Q-Tip, Anderson .Paak, and the other to do like a different, older style of music. He seems to get the respect, so that's good.
Yeah, talent recognize talent.
No doubt.
That's how it is. So, and then you got to pay for them too. These features ain't free. So, you paying. So,
Shout outs to Naomi.
Q-Tip charged him for that.
Naomi's paying.
That seemed like a lookout joint.
Could be.
We're just trying to touch bases.
I'm sure it might have been 10K.
Maybe.
It might have been 10K.
I think he got some Osaka bucks.
Yeah, right. Maybe.
Maybe gave him some points on the song. A couple points.
Maybe. I don't know.
So the other drop of the week, bigger named artist, new album. Your boy Moneybagg Yo.
Yeah.
Moneybagg Yo.
Gangsta's Pain.
So if you're listening to this right now, listeners, I'm just going to step aside for a moment. Allow these two gentlemen to give us the Moneybagg Yo. I don't like Memphis rap. I don't care that much for that much gangster rap.
But you got against Memphis or Detroit, man?
I do not like it at all.
You're born from Detroit. You got to fuck with Detroit a little bit.
Who's my boy? Oh, Royce?
No, I mean, Royce. Yeah, you do fuck with Royce.
Yeah, I didn't think about that. I like old Detroit. I was talking about Bragg, though.
That's different. That's like the difference between old Chicago rap and like modern Chicago rap.
I like 90s, 2000s Detroit. But anyway, back to Moneybagg. Take over. Tell us how it is.
That shit too hard. That shit too hard.
How do you expect Moneybagg to be open up? I like him on that more fast-paced stuff. I think that's really his lane. Like the real hard street hitting stuff. I don't really like the slower or the softer songs as much. But it's Moneybagg Yo. He get on the beats. I think he got I think he's an underrated rapper, like as far as rapping. I think, he has great flow and pretty decent wordplay throughout it too. So I'm a fan of Moneybagg Yo, not like a huge fan. He's not on one of my top tier rappers or anything, but
in your top 75?
Definitely in my top 75.
Shit, let's
75.
go.
Like all time?
Top 25 what?
I said top 75, just being stupid.
I guess so.
He said definitely in my top 75.
Yeah, I guess so. But yeah, he's a solid, I've always, since the first time I listened to Moneybagg Yo, I think he's like a Memphis 2 Chainz, or Yo Gotti and 2 Chainz had a baby, it would be Moneybagg Yo.
When you said that, that's how I've always felt about it.
They had a baby.
Moneybagg Yo is the Meg Thee Stallion for dudes.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Bro, because any
fair.
heartbeat, his flow is crazy. He gonna go in the whole song.
I think that's
what Meg do. Like, of course, she don't make songs that's necessary for me, but when she go, she be going.
I don't think she got
and
enough
that's
flow.
what
She got a little bit of bars, but I don't think she got a lot of flow. But yeah, we can.
She all flow to me. That's why I think Moneybagg is all flow to me. His bars don't be crazy like that.
Megan got a stiff flow.
That's how Moneybagg is. He's hop on the track the same way every time.
No, I mean, because the beats are the beat selection. That's what I'm saying.
So he go in and run that shit the same way every time.
I guess. I think overall it's a solid comparison, but let's not compare them with flows.
I feel so much better about my Moneybagg Yo take the more that y'all talk.
Right.
I feel so much better about not liking this. He's like, you know what? I think she's the Meg Thee Stallion for dudes.
Yeah. On street shit.
They dated. So we forget about that.
There you go.
That probably was fake. They had a record out.
They did have a record.
And then they broke up right after. That shit was some bullshit.
Yeah. Megan been passed around a little bit, but hey.
I can't get
she been passing around these rappers.
Yeah. But overall, I haven't even listened to the whole album yet, but I like the way that opens up. I don't really prefer the slower stuff, but he got some hits on there. He got some good songs.
That Go joint hard. That shit hard.
I have heard that. That one's been a single for a little bit, right?
Yeah, that shit beat.
Yeah, I have heard that one before.
And then Time Today, that's the main single off of it.
Yeah, Time Today. I heard that before.
Rung Off. Yeah, that song's fire. I think I mentioned it when it dropped. I was like, yeah, it's a fire track. It's been out for a hard track. A few months now.
Club banger.
Yeah, it's a club banger for sure. You play that, the club will ring off. They love that shit.
Gotcha.
That's a good
that
song.
Certified Neptune's hard. Neptune's Pharrell on the hook. Can't go wrong.
Yeah,
can't go wrong.
Overall, I fuck with Moneybagg, but I mean that's really all I had to say on him, though. Yeah,
good shit.
I tried. I couldn't get into it. He does flow well. I like that he doesn't sound like retarded on the beat. So you tell he's going in. He just talks about nothing that I have any interest in.
Yeah, it's a lot of rap cap.
But you know what? The real problem is, I don't
know if you're capping, but. He just talking about the same shit over and over and over again.
I think the people that I know that like him have ruined him for me. I'm judging people. I'm gonna be honest with you, but the people that I know that like his music, they're not people that I want to associate with.
That's how it was about Gates.
That makes sense.
Like people was acting like he was the best in the world for years. I'm like, all right. All right, well, it was just, and I get it. I'm starting to like Gates now. I've came over, but in the beginning, like early Gates,
yeah,
it wasn't nothing you can tell a Gates fan.
Yeah,
it wasn't nothing you can tell him, bro.
I didn't know that.
Nothing you can tell him.
That shit used to kill me early.
That shit used to kill me.
I used to tell people, but I mean, Gates is one of. I just like people who
like
can
girls
tell.
too. Like girls go super hard for Gates.
Yeah, we know why. That
he talks about ladies songs.
I just like artists where I can clearly tell like there's this
gangsta hood shit, bro.
No, I mean it's more than that. It's more depth than that, bro. I really like people who I feel like are students of the game who study the craft. Like I can tell like you take this shit serious. You know what I'm saying? Like you are always trying to expand or like you really take this rapping shit serious. Like if we cut the beat off, you can spit. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, like I like people like that.
If they say anything about killing and selling drugs, you say, "Yo, they're real, bro. They got balls."
Because I don't think Moneybagg Yo is necessarily a real gangster or nothing like that. And it has nothing to do with killing, but it's validity is a part of rap. I think it's one of them things that it make you a better rapper if the shit that you're saying is more valid. But it's deeper than just being street talk.
Deeper than rap.
I think, like I said, I like people who I feel like I can hear it when I'm listening to it, that they're taking really time with their craft. So that's what I like.
As I get older, I just realize that I'm gonna be like the most angry old man that doesn't.
Oh yeah, I already know for sure.
The more I'm gonna sound like an asshole right now too, and I'm okay with being an asshole old person. It is what it is. Kids are stupid. The older I get, I feel like I get a little bit more mature, and the more mature I get, the harder it is to listen to other people talk about like doing dumb shit,
the ignorance,
and be excited about it.
You can't tolerate the ignorance.
Yeah, so I judge them. I'm gonna be honest, I judge them. Once somebody like goes too hard on the ignorance, I'm like, y'all just stupid, man. Listen to me. I'm 31. I know a couple of things.
But it's a such thing as hyperboles and stuff like that. You also have to take an artistic approach when you're listening to these things as well too.
That's why I can hear it from Ross and from Gates, who obviously is like way out there.
Ross's whole life is nothing but rap cap.
It's more so like I can differentiate in the music than if you're doing stupid shit off that's not on music. That's the shit that bothers me. It's like, yo, why are you doing this stupid shit? You making money, you having a good life, and you doing this stupid shit on the internet. Cut it out. And I know that adds to all the drama and all the shit that gets you looks and appearances, but it was like, bro, like, cut it out. That's the shit I don't like.
Yeah,
like, if you talking about ignorant shit in the music and that shit hard.
It's hard.
Like, it's just hard. Like,
it is what it
but
is.
then when you doing it on IG and then I was like, all right, bro. Like, all right, come on, man.
I'm not as
now
good
we in
at
real life and you still
that.
doing ignorant shit.
Yeah.
It's like,
I can separate ignorant
it's
shit
like a music video
in music for myself because I like trust myself.
Right.
Differentiate, this is not real life. This is the song or whatever. But when I see like the ignorance in the music, and then all of the fans of the artists that I know are like super ignorant and shit, I'm like, I mean, these people are eating your shit up, bro. I listen to like
there was a time and a place for that. We grew up off that where we wanted the rappers to be that. Now everything is too visible for you to be that anymore. You got to stop it. We can't keep doing it. There's too many cameras, bro, for you to still be doing the shit that you saying in the songs in real life.
Listen, I listened to like 4 songs from the album. I swear I heard him say something about himself or his girl being toxic at least 3 different times in the 4 songs.
Yeah,
probably so.
And then all of the people that I know that listen to Moneybagg are the ones that are like,
toxic this,
I'm
toxic that.
cheating on my man this week. Hopefully he doesn't. All the dumb shit. All the like stupid relationship memes. I'm like, yo, y'all are the Moneybagg Yo people.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah,
so,
definitely.
Anyway, I'm going to try to stop judging people, but was there any other music that you guys
Fivey,
listening
Foreign.
to?
He got arrested.
Single.
Yo, you didn't tell me.
He did get arrested. Unruly.
Why didn't you put that in the chat?
Oh, my bad. I need to know.
I think y'all
fuck with Fivey.
No, I need to know. I need to know when Fivey is dropped so I can make sure not to hear that song.
Well, you ain't hear it, so
I know, but
he might run across it next week and think it's a new one.
Yeah, I need to know to try to avoid Fivey.
I fuck with Fivey. It sound like a Fivey track. Ain't nothing crazy out of the ordinary.
I can tell you the song.
The shit he got arrested for is kind of nuts a little bit.
I saw he got arrested, but I didn't know what for.
He had a.
It was the second time.
He had a pistol.
He parked in a handicap spot.
No.
Was it really? Get the fuck out of
here. He supposedly parked at a bank in a handicap spot, ran in to go get some money, came out, cops was out there. You parked in the wrong spot, said, let me see your ID. He walked off on the cop, had a gun on, they arrested him.
And the gun had the serial number scratched off.
It's like, bro, you got your gun on, you go to the bank, but I don't.
Right. But hey, it is what it is. Why not have your gun on you if you're going in the bank? That might be his thinking. Why wouldn't I have my gun on me?
They talked about that on Joe's podcast this morning, some shit.
Oh, yeah.
He said that area is like a precinct, like right beside that bank. So it's like you just did something stupid and they just got you. Like you could have avoided that if you just parked in a regular spot. Like,
you won't thinking.
Yeah.
You won't thinking.
It was one of those situations. Yeah. But whatever, you know. But it's a dope record, Unruly, hard record. Slime Language 2 Deluxe already the next week.
Oh damn!
I ain't got to it yet. I don't like it. I haven't been. I know you don't fuck with deluxes. Don't give me the deluxe the next week after your album
that
drops.
bothered me so bad.
Right.
Give it a few weeks, bro.
I finally got to the point where I'm not like
I don't like
irritated by the deluxe anymore.
Yeah.
But then when you do it the very next week,
Not the next
and you
week.
put 23 songs on the first album, get the fuck out of my
Now it's like 30. Now it's like 30 something. It's like, bro, we ain't even got all the feel of the first one yet.
You could have did a Slime Language 3.
Yo.
But I listened to 2 of them, and the 2 I listened to were dope as shit.
Bro, I'm telling you, I know they're going to be hard. I just ain't got to
my
them
man
yet.
Don Tolliver back in the game.
Got
I
you
ain't
in.
seen Don in a minute.
Got you in.
And the one with the baby is I liked quite a bit too.
All right, yeah.
I actually liked those 2 songs probably better than the whole original album.
Yeah, that's tight. That's cool.
It's a bunch of bangers, man. Shout out to Thug. And he
Bro,
caught
yeah.
one, by the way. I think I said that.
What's
the
that?
ski challenge been going crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody's skiing.
Yeah, I know about that, but
He got one. The video hard, too.
I seen Soulja Boy was mad about that a little bit.
Soulja Boy been mad for like a month and a half.
He was
now.
like, oh, because, you know, his little junk is a TikTok too. But he's like, oh, ain't nobody, the rappers ain't doing my shit.
But his junk was ringing off a little bit, too.
No, his junk ringing
People was
off,
doing
but it's
that
still
shit.
ringing off
Yeah.
on TikTok. More so than the ski
Oh, he mad
challenge.
because other rappers ain't doing shit.
Right, they not participating in it. But Soulja Boy looked bad, dog. He looked like
skinny as
he
shit.
looked bad before, like when he did that whole fucking Breakfast Club shit, Drake and all that. But now he
Soulja Boy
looking
been doing that
worse.
shit I've been talking about too, about how I
Right.
started shit. I was the first rapper on YouTube and all that shit. Now you look like you salty now. You should have said that shit when you was hot. Don't do
no,
that
he
shit after
shouldn't
the
have said
fact.
that shit at all. I saw he was claiming
But
he
he
was
kind of right though. He was
said
first rapper to pop off on
first
YouTube.
one to wear Bape.
Yeah, he
That was the one I saw
Then
going
he
on
started.
last
Yeah,
year.
He doing
been
too
mad.
much.
He been mad about everything.
He ain't inspired nobody. If anybody was inspired people to wear Baby, it'd be like Wayne and
Neptunes is
yeah,
who
the
I think.
Neptunes and
He started
the
going on a
Clips and
tangent.
stuff.
That's who I think it would be.
Those to me, like, group them all
Currency was
together.
wearing bait for way back then.
And it's like, why you even talk about Babe in 2021?
Right.
I mean,
let
they
it
still
go.
popping though.
Why do you need
Yeah,
another?
I mean, but it's not the top of the line.
What do you gain
fucking
from?
rap
Shit's pretty
gear
expensive
necessarily?
still.
What do you
Yeah,
gain
for sure.
from?
It's
Other,
not gonna go down in
Yeah.
price.
you
But I'm just
gain
saying,
nothing
no,
from other dudes saying, "Yeah, he did it first." If you need that validation, I feel bad for you.
Yeah.
It's the timing. You gotta say it while you already there. Don't
Like,
say
I'm
after
doing
you
this
done
shit.
fell off. You sound like you
I'm the
salty.
only one who doing this shit
That's
right
what I'm
now.
saying,
Yeah, maybe you say that. And then
Bro, every
it's better
rapper we've
received.
seen do that while they was
Stupid
hot.
as shit
Wayne
there,
did
too.
it. That was the best rapper alive, and people believed it because he was the best rapper alive at the time. Like,
Yeah.
sometimes you gotta stamp that shit.
That's a little different than I wore Bape first, but
Not all that extra shit. He
feel
went on a
you.
tangent then. I'm talking about when he was talking about being the first rapper to blow up on YouTube. He's kind of right about that.
Yeah.
When nobody popping off on YouTube
It's
back
just
then, like
just like Justin Bieber were to say
got
that
signed
he was the
'cause his
first
YouTube video went
heartthrob. You'd be
viral.
like, oh yeah, that's true.
and it means nothing. It means nothing. It was a new form of media. It is what it is.
Yeah,
somebody was gonna get there.
Somebody had to open the lane.
Whatever.
You did, luckily.
all of it don't mean nothing. Everybody can say they're the best rapper. It don't really mean nothing.
Really,
But
that's why I don't put
you know,
anything in any of this.
well, people
Yeah.
credit to you when you there already, and you say it. Here's what it is. What we got next? What we got next?
I don't think there's
Man.
any other music worth getting into. But if
Let's
y'all
get into these
feel
sports,
free.
man.
Yeah, it's sport time.
All right, where do we want to start?
Brady said y'all fucking up stupid. Y'all changing these numbers around. What's wrong with y'all?
The NFL officially made a rule change
What
for
was
the
his
numbers.
reason?
He was
He's
saying
that
how
it's gonna
the
make for
offensive
basketball.
players, offensive line gonna know who to block if a linebacker got on number one or something and da da da. You know what I'm saying?
To me, that's ignorant,
People,
though.
I can see what he means by when you're game planning and you differentiating people on assignments, you go by their number. So now if you got linebackers wearing receiver numbers, and it can confuse you maybe.
But receivers don't play defense. And the thing is, the thing that I don't get about it.
But defensive players are gonna be able to wear receiver numbers.
Yeah,
man.
right.
So
That's fine. I think.
But all week when you game plan,
you know which number.
call out number 9,
Right.
instead of 55.
Right. That's it. This
That's
is
true.
the-
This is an old man take out of
That's
all.
It is some old man shit. I get
I'm
that.
with him. I agree with Brady. I don't care for it either. But this is so minor and minuscule. He should have just kept his mouth.
I think the bigger deal is that the current players that's in the game, if you got any kind of, if you any notable player, you're not gonna change your number, probably.
Oh, so
you got to pay for that shit.
Yeah, that's what I just heard about yesterday. You gotta buy out the back stock of your jersey.
Because they still selling them. They still selling your jersey.
Dalvin Cook looked into it to changing it to his original number. I guess it was number 4 from 33. Nike told him it's gonna be $1.5 million. Your number ain't worth that shit. He's like, nah, I'm gonna keep 33.
But the guys that are paid like that will do it. Like I see D-Hop saying that he might do it. He might change his number back to 6.
I would think that's stupid.
But he's worth $100 million. I can pay that $1 million to get my number back.
Yeah, it's stupid. That's something stupid to waste your money on for a number. And you've been balling with this number.
Somebody wasting their money. They got $100 million.
No, that's a waste of money.
Like, you gonna waste some shit on some shit. Like, if you want to change your number and you got it,
it's not gonna do you no more good than that's a waste.
Your choice. You got the choice to do it now.
You do, certainly. I think it benefits the guys coming into the league more so than anything. That's cool for them
getting drafted from here.
What Brady was talking about, why that shit makes zero sense, because people do that shit in high school. People do that shit in college. Literally, you see defensive. Chase Young was number 2 in college. Devin Bush was number 10 in college. He's a linebacker. That's how it's done in college. So it doesn't make a difference.
We know the league has different rules and standards than any other unprofessional.
Right, but Brady played in college before, and linebackers wore
20-some years ago.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Right, it was a long time ago, but still, I mean, the shit's still going on today. It's a common
I'm just saying,
thing.
It's definitely on some old man shit. Like, all right, Brady, like, all right, you 20 years in, this is all you know. I can see why you mad about this.
If anything, it's like if you're like trying to teach the game on an NFL perspective, it might hurt people that way. Like if I'm trying to teach my daughter the game as far as positional groups, it might be a little bit more difficult because I could have said, a linebacker will always have a number in the 50s or the 90s. That's what we're talking
about then. When people make subs on defense and you sub in somebody with a receiver number for this, and it could throw you off. It could throw off.
Well, I'm not going to be sympathetic for a professional athlete who's supposed to be in his playbook and film and study like that. You're supposed to know everybody who is going to get snaps anyway. So to me, that's not a big deal. And at the end of the day, you can adjust. A person just, regardless of who it is, we got safeties playing linebacker nowadays. So it really don't make a difference. If they're in that position, that's who you block. Regardless, it's all about where people are lined up, not necessarily what number that they have on. And Brady's supposed to call out the Mike linebacker regardless if he's wearing 55 or number 5 anyway. So it doesn't matter to me. I think it's just it's something that's blown a little bit out of proportion for Brady. It's like you said, it's some old man shit.
Brady's out here getting loose on Twitter and shit.
Yeah, it's some old man shit.
Getting his opinions off.
It's some old man shit for sure.
What can you do?
Carl Bell had a fucking meltdown yesterday over this fucking trade. From the Ravens trade, Orlando Brown, I believe was his name.
Yep.
Offensive tackle.
Pro Bowl tackle.
Who's most likely going to play left tackle for the Chiefs, by the way.
Yeah, he's definitely going to play left tackle. Yeah.
Chiefs traded 4 picks, a first round.
Most all of them were this year.
Third,
one for next year.
First, third, fourth, and a 6th next year.
And they got back the player and
a second round pick next year.
Yeah.
All right.
And something else.
I think maybe
there was 2 picks.
Right.
Whatever. So we were going back and forth on this yesterday. Carl's having a fit, talking about draft capital and all this shit.
Well, I mean, look, this is what I think. I just think I think the Ravens finesse the Chiefs out in this situation. Of course, the Chiefs. I'm not saying it's bad. Like he's a good player. He's a Pro Bowl player. I'm gonna get to that. Okay. He's a good player. He's not a great player. He's not worth a first round pick. He's a solid player in the NFL.
Pro Bowl tackle.
Pro Bowl is voted for by the fans. And he's never, but
whenever he can change the argument.
I like that word.
I don't talk about Pro Bowls. I talk about all pros. That's different.
What?
That's all pros are voted for by writers who actually study the game and stuff like that, or looking at statistics.
I can specifically
Orlando Brown is hold on, stop. I'm talking. Orlando Brown is he is the son of you can be a Pro Bowler just strictly off your name a lot of the times. You don't have to have a lot of production. Man. His father is a Hall of Fame player, a Hall of Fame tackle. Bro. So, like I said, you could throw Pro Bowler out there all you want, but that don't mean he's great. Because if he was a great player, then the Ravens wouldn't have drafted Ronnie Stanley to take his position at the left tackle position. But it's a finesse because of the Ravens didn't want to pay him. They said, "Hey, we're not going to pay you what you think that you're worth. So what they do is they get a first round pick for a guy they only spent a third round pick on. And they get a first round pick back and some other picks, and you don't have to pay this dude moving forward in a draft class where tackle is probably the strongest position that we've seen in 20 years, and they're going to use one of those picks to draft a tackle that they don't have to pay for the next 4 years. And the Chiefs have to pay Orlando Brown now. So now you've given up a first round pick for a guy that you have to pay.
Correct one thing. They want to pay him.
The Chiefs?
Yes.
Yeah, they got him because they wanted him.
They traded for him because they are going to give him the deal that he needs, which is going to be expensive.
Right. Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
I thought this whole thing was so stupid yesterday because none of us will be able to tell how the trade worked out for the next 3 to 4 years.
Right.
Obviously, you can say you disagree with it. If you think it's a bad move, you think it's a bad move. And you might be right. You might end up being right. But you made it yesterday sound like they were just complete morons that are catastrophically destroying the team from the inside out. And I think the point that me and Morris were saying back and forth to you was they're the second to last pick in the draft. So whatever pick they have for the first round is basically a second round pick. Not that a second round pick is not valuable or whatever the case may be, but it's not, when you say they gave up a first rounder, it's not like they gave up the number 7. And they end up switching out picks. They trade 2 picks away. Last year, they had basically no holes in the team all the way up until the end of the postseason when they had the injuries and the line was garbage in the Super Bowl.
Their running backs was getting hurt.
This offseason, they've signed and traded for like 4 or 5 different starters on the line. Just completely revamped the line.
They've
so I think
done that
the point is draft capital and continuing to draft players that are going to give you long-term success is 1,000% important. You were right on that. I don't think anybody's trying to argue that. But when you're kind of at the end of the road where you have strength in all of these other areas, to decide that we're going to make a little push and give up draft capital to try to bring in something that fills in the final gap.
But see, that is just for one season. They got picks next year. Like, it's not like they gave away picks for the next 3-4 years. Like,
and I get that, but what I'm saying is, they've clearly mishandled their draft because they could have drafted a tackle last year, but they decided to draft a running back.
But they didn't need a tackle last year because the line wasn't.
They didn't need a running back. They had Damian Williams. He was a great running back for them.
The line was not a problem all the way until the end of the season when they had the injuries.
That's completely true.
So
but they decided to draft a 5'9", 200-pound running back who runs a 4.6 40 and he's a good player. He's a decent player, but he was clearly the 3rd or 4th best running back that was in the class. They mishandled the draft. That's all I'm saying.
Do you think he fits the offense or Jonathan Taylor? Now I know we know Jonathan Taylor was the best rookie back.
I think DeAndre Swift does.
But his numbers weren't that far off from DeAndre Swift.
But he's a better player. But that's completely different from the point.
This is all that bullshit. Because like I said, there's no right or wrong answer here. Once we start debating it and going back and forth, then you're trying to double down on your Clyde Edwards-Helaire was a bad pick. So, ultimately, this is dumb shit.
Well, I'm just saying, ultimately, I think they mishandled the draft, and I think what we're going to look at in the future is that the Chiefs aren't invisible. Everybody keep on saying, I can see them. Everybody say that, they revamped their offensive line, they're ready. But we're completely forgetting about the other side of the ball. They didn't get a sack on Tom Brady last year in the Super Bowl. What linebacker do they have? They do need people. They need pass rush. They need corners. The only thing that they're secure with on defense is probably safety. So that's what I'm saying. They need pieces all over their defense, and they giving up draft picks. They're not trading for that. I mean, that's all I'm saying. I think it was a bad move.
All you're saying is factual.
And then
all that you saying is factual.
You're giving the Ravens a lot of leverage.
When your $500 million quarterback gets fucked up the whole Super Bowl because your line is dismantled, you're going to get linemen. You're going to get the best lineman you can possibly get at the time that's ready to go, has been in the league for a little bit, and not put a bet on a rookie that you don't know how they're going to be in the league.
That's the truth.
It just makes sense.
There hasn't been a trade that involved draft picks that wasn't a Steelers trade that Carl hasn't thought the other team overpaid. You value draft stock.
I gave away a whole bunch of shit for Minka. I know he's a great player. Gave away a whole bunch of picks for Minka. You didn't think that was wrong with that?
We only gave about 1 first-round pick for Minka.
I thought it was more than that.
No, it was a first-round pick for the player. That was it. Right. And he's a 2-time All-Pro, not not Pro Bowler. All Pro.
Yeah, we're not here to talk about.
It's different, but anyway,
every other team you say.
Let me tell you, this is why it's a finesse for the Ravens. I think the Ravens come out with the better scenario here. They get rid of a guy that they don't have to pay. Again, they're going to draft a tackle. This is one of the best tackle classes we've ever seen, or I've ever seen in my lifetime, where you can get the 6th or 5th rated tackle, and in any other year he probably would have been a top 15 pick. But every time the Ravens have had, they've only had 2 first-round picks 4 times in the organizational history. First time they got Jonathan Ogden and Ray Lewis. Second time they got Jamal Lewis and Travis Taylor. Third time they got Terrell Suggs and Kyle Bowler, and then in 2018 they got Hayden Hurst and Lamar Jackson. That just shows me of how better of an organization and how they look to project forward that the Ravens are than the Chiefs. I feel like because they're saying, hey,
or
we know what we
like
can
a team
do.
that's still trying to figure it out.
Yeah, and
Like, they're still trying to figure it out every year. Like I think
how does that make sense?
You put a lot of onus on the team, like you did this with the Patriots, the team that finishes in the end of the season in the playoff, in the conference championship or the Super Bowl, on what they pick in the draft and they're saying they're bad draft picks. It's a different thing when you're not finishing in the Super Bowl almost every year.
But the Ravens are a playoff contender every single year, bro. They're not picking in the 15s.
But they be getting bounced out first game too.
But this pick is 20. This pick is 20. They're picking 27th and 28th every year and stuff like that. These are still late picks, just like Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh picks in the 20s every year. We're not picking in the teens or the pick 5 through 10 or anything like that. And great players are drafted wherever throughout the draft. Sure. Wherever. Alvin Kamara, 4th round pick. George Kittle, 5th round pick.
You're acting as if the Chiefs have not found the players that they needed for their team.
They have. Offensively.
They drafted well.
Yeah, Travis Kelce.
That Mahomes guy's
I'm talking
pretty
about recently.
Hill's pretty awesome.
Yeah, these are great players offensively, but
that's what I'm saying.
Great defensive players out there. Chris Jones.
Your general reason is that they're neglecting the future or not thinking long term. When my point is that they've drafted fairly well for a while now.
And I'm gonna tell you the difference in that all these picks the Ravens had, they ain't been in the Super Bowl in a long time. Kansas City's method and their picks that they got, being a high-powered offense, has got them to back-to-back Super Bowls. Obviously, their way is working somehow.
I think it works as long as you have success or competing for a Super Bowl, because you can't really.
That's what I'm saying.
The rest of it is
can't really be that. Say they're doing something wrong when they're playing the Super Bowl every year.
I'm not saying that. I think ultimately going forward, you can microwave things for one season for sure, but ultimately going forward, I think it's a bad move. I think financially, it's a terrible move, and especially if this draft class was weak at the tackle position, I would have said that was a good move, because you can't verify that you would have got a good player or a good caliber player at that slot that you were in. But this year, you could pretty much guarantee you could take 2 tackles. You could take one in the first and one in the third, and you can find somebody that's going to play that position for you. Yeah, that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, but the thing that you never understand about potential is potential. The players have potential of being very good or very bad.
No,
when you look at potential, you only see the good. They're trading for a player that they've seen play well.
That's a fact,
and that is not a guarantee, but is a known.
Yeah,
so comparing that against possibilities, there's not a right wrong.
There's more risk in drafting the rookie than drafting the guy that shows that he can be a solid tackle.
It doesn't make sense.
There's more risk in trading your picks away.
No,
but because how do you build your team going forward?
Because you're getting players that you know can play.
But you're strapped now. So now you're strapped against the cap. Because now you got to pay all of these people offensively, and you don't have anybody. Now you have to hit on the draft. That's all I'm saying, is that you're decreasing your percentages to be great in the future. Now you have to hit on all of your draft picks, because what free agents are you going to have? Or what money do you have for free agents going forward?
That's the whole point.
You have strapped against the cap?
No, you have to do things differently. When you're a team that is at the verge of Super Bowl, you're already going to be strapped for cash. You're not going to have the ability to spend and get these draft picks the way a shitty team is that can take on risks.
That's the difference.
When you're this close, it doesn't make sense to take big risks and bring in people that could.
That's the way. That's why it's set up like that. If the team at the time to get all the best picks,
so you think I think the bigger risk was taking Orlando Brown. The draft pick is simply developing a player at that point. You can if you want to increase your percentages again.
Do you want to develop a player in a
players.
team that you're expected to be in the Super Bowl next year? Do you want to develop a player, or do you want to get a guy that's ready to go?
He still has to develop within your system. Sure. You don't know how well he's going to play for Kansas City. It's still unknowns regardless.
Of course, but there's less.
More.
There's less unknown when you've seen the guy play in the NFL well.
Bro,
that's a fact. That's a fact.
Say that again.
Let me just finish up with this one solid point, and I have nothing else to say after that.
Does it have to be a solid point for you not to say anything else?
Yeah, this is a solid point.
Well, I don't agree to this because you don't have any fucking solid points.
What I'm saying is, y'all act like Albert Haynesworth was a great player before the Redskins traded for him, and then they paid him, and he was nothing. You can't say that this is a guarantee.
No.
Right, exactly.
No,
of course it's not a guarantee.
I'm going to do a better comparison of this. I'm going to do a better comparison of this.
Laramie Tunsil.
You say...
That just recently happened.
You always say Bill is the worst in the draft. He's always been the worst in the draft.
He's great in free agency.
He's great in free agency.
Great in free agency.
That's all he does great is free agency, right? Bringing in players that are proven into a championship system because we're fighting for Super Bowls every year. And he's had the greatest success at doing it that way. So how is it not?
You made your point. You said,
but he doesn't say anything. He doesn't pay top dollar, or he doesn't trade a whole bunch of picks.
Him something.
No, he gets
to put them in that system
like
to win a championship.
Fucking Calvin was nobody.
Gilmore, Reeves. He picked up big name players in free agency. To go win a championship. Fight for a championship.
He's not trading a bunch of draft picks for him. He's integrating these guys into his system.
You said
Randy Moss,
you said you weren't going to say anything else.
I'm done.
And your two examples of shitty decisions were the Redskins and the Texans. Good job.
Shitty teams to make this comparison.
This is what recently happened.
The entire crux of the point is when you draft players, there's always a high chance that the player is a bust. That's just the fact for the NFL.
It's easily
there's clearly teams that pick better,
50%
that do a better job.
50% in the first round.
You're proving my point.
There it is.
Yeah.
It's over
it's a risk. It's all risk management. Everything in life is risk management. They have more defined roles and set players. It makes sense for them to try to roll the dice, get rid of draft picks that could be future good picks. And bring in what they need right now. Yeah. What else do we have on this draft? You said you wanted to talk about our team's needs. I don't really have all that good stuff. You go ahead and get your Steelers out of the way.
Oh, I mean, you sound like you're a little agitated over there, buddy.
Because you drive me insane.
You good over there, man?
You drive me fucking insane. You're too smart. You're too smart of a person to be this dumb.
I was just saying, bro. I think it's a bad deal. It's a bad deal, and we'll see it play out in the future.
You said you weren't going to say anything else. What about the Steelers? What do you need to draft?
Well, no,
running back.
Jesus
Najee
Christ!
Hope we get him.
Are you excited if you get Najee?
So
hard not to be excited about offensive players.
The Steelers' wish list. I think they clearly need three. In the first 3 rounds, we clearly need at least 2 offensive players.
Yeah, y'all need 35 good players.
That's all y'all ever do, really.
What?
Get offensive players?
No, I mean, we haven't drafted an offensive player in the first round since 2012. So I think we'll spend a first-round pick this year on an offensive player. It's most likely going to, if Najee Harris is there, I don't see any scenario, even though we need offensive line, I don't see any scenario.
So y'all do got a first-round pick this year?
Yeah.
What pick y'all got?
24th. And we've drafted great players with the picks in the 20s a lot. Yeah. But anyway.
He got you that ring, though.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like if Najee Harris is there, there's no way Steelers pass on him. I think
What do you think about taking a first-round running back as a fan?
I think it's ignorant for people to say that it's not a good pick. I don't get where people come when they say, like, oh, you shouldn't draft a running back in the first round. I don't understand that philosophy at all.
I mean,
I think you get an extra year out of a guy.
What you mean?
Yeah, I think in general it makes sense. I think there's guys that that break that mold, and there are guys that are
right. I mean, at the end of the day, it's like,
but I think
you take what you need.
Probably not the greatest idea for a lot of picks.
I mean, I don't get why not. You get an extra. So what if that guy does ball out, and then you end up in a situation where it's year 4 and you gotta pay this guy if you draft him in.
That's what you hope for. You hope for him to ball out. You
don't want to have to pay a running back.
You hope for him to ball out in his rookie contract for your draft. That's what you want from your draft pick, right?
Right. I mean, you definitely want him to ball out. But what I'm saying is that if you draft anybody, you get a 5th-year option when you draft people in the first round. Right. So if you draft a running back in the first round, that avoids you for having to pay him that 5th year. You can just pick up. I mean, you'll pay him something, of course, but you just
same discussion though. It's a risk reward. You're right.
He balls out in those 4 years. That you got what you wanted to get out of.
But if you end up picking a good running back in the 4th round and you don't have to pay him first round,
I'm just saying the scenario like what the Steelers was with Le'Veon Bell. You wouldn't get in that scenario if you drafted Le'Veon Bell in the 1st round instead of the 2nd round. Le'Veon wouldn't have had to be franchise tag because you would have picked him up on a 5th-year option. And then you could have possibly used the franchise tag after that if you wanted to. I think it just gives you more leverage as an organization. I don't see what the big deal is about drafting a running back in the 1st round, or really if a top 10 pick or anything like that. I think there's plenty of guys that was worth it. Zeke was worth the top 10 pick his first couple years. Maybe not now. He just wasn't worth the second contract. Christian McCaffrey is clearly worth a top 10 pick. So I don't have any rules against taking a running back in the 1st round. I think, you take the player that you need, regardless, or that you want. So, yeah. What's on the Patriots wish list?
I'm not a huge fan of the 1st round running back, unless that's
it worked out well for the Panthers.
The last thing that you need. I mean, look, I'm not mad at having McCaffrey. I love McCaffrey. I don't know that was the best decision long term. I think you can find running backs fairly easily. Is my biggest problem.
Right. I mean, they're a plug and play position, but it's just like, to me, it's the same with
Mike Jones?
Why draft the wide receiver in the 1st round?
He went nuts.
Yeah, he was balling.
They signed him after he was cut by the 4th team or something.
Yeah.
But I mean, you're right. If it works really well. If it doesn't, it doesn't.
I just think you draft what you need, and it's ultimately up to the organization what happens. You got to develop and the player himself, of course.
Well, a Pats 15 pick.
Y'all pick number 15?
Yeah.
So maybe Bill can do better at that point?
I'm hoping so. Hey, it's a different situation.
Maybe he can draft a Pro Bowler.
We ain't been this close to the top since 07, 08.
It's Pro Bowl again.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe at least a Pro Bowler.
Right.
Pro Bowler.
At least, definitely not going to be all pro, but at least he can draft a Pro Bowler.
Well, we don't bring players in to be famous. We bring them in to work. All right. That's the difference. All right. We bring them in to work. Put in work. Do your job. That's our slogan, if you didn't know.
We got jobs getting done last year.
15th pick. Come on, man. We ain't keep on doing that. Keep on doing that. We knew what happened to y'all last year. Keep on doing that.
All right, let's move on.
All right, we move on.
Move on, brother.
Got the 15th pick. It's looking like we're gonna get fucking Mac. That's what all eyes is telling me right now.
I think so.
I was hoping Fields would drop a little bit, but obviously that was smoke and mirrors. Niners probably gonna pick him up 3rd pick or some shit. And Mac probably gonna fall to us. That's what it's looking like. Which I can't. I'm not too mad at it. Wasn't no QB I wanted, but if that's what they get. Can't be mad at that.
I don't think he's worth a 1st round pick, but I think again, what the fuck do I know?
We can't do another year passing up on getting a QB and just hoping Cam plays out.
I don't think anybody knows what they're talking about with the draft.
No.
Don't take it personally.
Just all talking shit. I don't know shit. I usually don't pay attention to the draft, but we got a high pick this year, so I'm on it.
I don't know. Watch it. Whoever you pick, you're going to be excited about until they suck. But I don't think anybody knows about it. That there's so many misses in football specifically with draft. Obviously, there are teams that have a record of scouting well and do better than other teams. So I'm not saying that there's no way to try to pick better. I'm just saying when people say this guy's a sure shot, this one definitely shouldn't be a 1st rounder. I don't think anybody knows what
they don't know when it comes to that.
Guessing.
It's at the end of the day, if you hit 50% on any of your draft classes, you are doing fantastic.
Yeah.
It's really 5, maybe 10 guys out of the whole draft that are going to at least be solid in the NFL, and even they can get hurt.
All
and that can ruin that shit.
All you really want is that your top, you want to draft well in the first 3 rounds. Because these guys are definitely making the roster. Anybody else can possibly get cut.
Right.
So if you hit on your first, 3 picks, then you're good. You like I said, you got stability for a while if you can continuously do that or replicate that. They're going to be misses every year. Every team is going to have them, regardless of how well you develop or scout. Everybody's going to have a miss because you don't know how that player is going to do when he actually gets into the league. So it's always going to be
Daniel Jones and Haskins.
Yeah, I think Daniel Jones is still a decent player. I'm not ready to write.
I ain't saying great, but it's obviously who's better. Off, and they was really on his back when they picked Daniel Jones.
He's not worth the number 6 overall pick, maybe. But I think he could still be a good player. Yeah, right. I mean, that's. Yeah. But I think what will happen in this draft, like I said, it's a lot of strong positions. Especially offensively, quarterback's a pretty strong position. Of course, you got the big 5. A lot of great wide receivers. Tackle's probably the strongest position. And I mean, those are, and then running back, those are probably the strongest positions overall. And corner is you can get you a good corner. It's a lot of corners with, dads as NFL players, Asante Samuel Jr. You got J.C. Horn. His dad was Jim Horn. And then you got
you mean Joe Horn?
Patrick Surtain, who's probably the top corner.
Yeah, that's right.
His dad played in the NFL as well too. So yeah. Those guys will come off the board.
Old, man. We seeing kids coming to the league.
Right. Guys that we watch.
We watch growing up. They kids in the league.
Yeah, they're kids in the league now.
So in the same draft.
That shit is wild.
Yeah, right. I think that was pretty, and all playing the same position and stuff. That was pretty. That's pretty dope. So I think it's gonna be a fun draft this year, man. I think the first 3 picks are. I think that San Francisco might take Trey Lance. I'm not sure if they take Fields. I think they take Trey Lance.
I listened
because they're holding on to Garoppolo.
Yeah, I did hear somebody say. I heard this week that there is really strong, legitimate considerations of them taking Mac. That's not just a bullshit story.
I hope Fields drops that.
I think everybody hopes that they take Mac.
He drops
I still don't believe it, but it seemed like that's a legit.
Mac seems like he would fit being a Niner than Justin Fields for sure.
I mean, I just feel like that's just such
a offense is set up.
I don't get why you draft Mac Jones that high because, I mean, I don't like the 1 year. You know how I felt about Burrow. I don't like the guys who just pop up and then all of a sudden I just feel like it's so many questions at that point. Was it the people around him or was it him? Because why wasn't he flourishing before? Or, if Mac Jones would have came out last year, it would probably been a 4th, 5th round pick or something like that. So I'm just not a big believer in it. I feel like you should get a guy with more traits, and then they always thought, well, his processing, he's so smart, and all of this stuff. We're looking for football players, not guys who can score the fucking perfect score on the SAT. We're looking for guys who can play football. So Ryan Fitzpatrick he went to fucking Harvard, but he doesn't make him the best quarterback in the NFL. So I'm looking for guys with more who can play football. Trey Lance, Justin Fields, like I said, they got tangible qualities that you can build upon and develop with. I still think one of them go number 3, and I think it's going to be Trey Lance, I think. So, I don't know. It might surprise me with Mac Jones. Who knows? We'll
see.
Yeah.
I think it's wild to discount what he just did last year because he had good tools and not take any consideration into the fact that Lance played 1 game last year.
Yeah, no doubt. But when he played a full season, he scored 28 touchdowns and 0 picks. So he's a very and like I said, he can run the football almost. He's not Lamar Jackson, but it's damn near close. He can throw, he can run. He's like I said, it's special things when you look at guys like Justin Fields and Trey Lance. It's not necessarily special. I see a lot of Mason Rudolph when I look at Mac Jones. I don't see the next level.
Until last season, you've been trying to tell us how good he was for years.
I never said that he was good.
You've been saying.
I never said he was.
I think
being
going down that early made you have to go extra hard for Mason.
I specifically said we're going to see what Mason is going to do, and I specifically said that it's his job to make sure that Ben retires. And of course, he never did that. So Mason's not a good player. Is he a serviceable backup? Yeah, but he's not a good player. So I'm fine. But that's what I just don't see anything special with Mac Jones, and I don't get why you would give up so much to jump up there to draft Mac Jones. Maybe they have a vision for him, but obviously they're not that great at evaluating quarterbacks if they thought Jimmy Garoppolo was the next guy. So whatever, we'll see.
Draft coming soon next week.
We'll see how it works out for him.
So motherfucking KD gave his top 5 players he liked to play with last week on Gilly and Wallow's $1 million worth of game. Kind of gave it up a little bit. Who did he name off?
I didn't. I have no idea.
He said Kyrie, James.
Of course you're going to name them.
Clay. And he thought seconds. We know what everybody thinking.
LeBron.
He's like, oh, Serge Ibaka for sure.
I thought he left off Draymond. And then I thought about it more and I was like, oh, fuck, Russ.
It was his best players that he felt like he played with. He did put Draymond in another list they asked him about.
Did you see? So what I saw that and everybody was having a fit.
They cut the clip off.
Yeah. This is so fucking stupid, bro.
Wallow had to remind him, like, I thought you was going to name old boy from LA, Russ. He was like, oh, yeah. Then Kenny was like, oh, yeah, Russ got to go there. And he's, as a matter of fact, put Russ at 4 and move Clay to 5th for sure. I'm like, all right. He tried to clean it up.
I didn't I think they asked a bad question. I think this is a stupid question. Because he obviously has to say his 2 current teammates that are like the big stars.
Yeah.
So I mean they have to be there. Yeah. And then he's played with 4 other big time stars with 3 spots. Like of course he was gonna end up saying somebody didn't get put in there.
But putting Serge over, like, Russ is the guy he played with the longest.
Like, when I saw it genuinely looked like he just forgot about it.
That's just
like when I watched the clip.
I don't think I wouldn't want to play with Russell Westbrook. I mean, that's fine. I think if you're KD, you probably wouldn't want to play with him.
The list was who are the 5 best players that you've played with. Not who you like to play with more.
See, that's what I thought about.
I thought it was.
They asked him that question separately. They asked you who your favorite teammates in the second question. And he said it was Draymond and Clay was who he connected with. No, on the Warriors specifically is what they asked. Who are your favorite players that you connected with? And he said Draymond and Clay. And they expected him to say Steph, of course, but he said nah. Him and Draymond.
So that question was the best players you've played with?
Yeah, that's what the 5-player list was.
Then how the fuck Serge Ibaka?
Then I'm 100% sure that he just literally just forgot. There's no way you put Russ. I'm sorry, Ibaka over Russ. There's not enough.
That's what I'm saying.
There's nobody in the world that would do that.
Nah, I feel like that's shaded.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, how can you forget about Russ?
Yeah, why would Ibaka even
Russ is like implemented in your career.
Like, had 4.
Russ is a part of your career. Like, you can't forget about Russ.
So what are you saying? You think there's beef?
I don't think it's beef, but it's just weird that he will forget about it.
They don't like each other that much.
I don't think that's true either, though.
I don't think they're friends. You think they're friends?
I don't think they're tight, no. I think they're cool. I don't think there's no beef.
No, it ain't no beef, but I got plenty of people, it's like, it ain't no problem. We ain't going to swing on each other when we see each other, but I don't like you.
Maybe. I don't see what they would have beef for other than people trying to pin them together. I could even still,
like, necessarily... Like,
I can see Russ having a beef with KD by how he left.
And he did.
Yeah, he did.
He did. So, I'm sure that's hashed out and stuff like that. But
yeah, it's years ago now.
I don't necessarily think it was like... I don't think... He didn't think of Russ because he didn't want to. That's what it was. I mean, that's it. I don't think he forgot. Though. Yeah, right.
Serge was hot in the beginning, but he ain't been that great. He been okay. I mean, he did win a championship with... the Raptors.
Yeah. Definitely wildly different type of player than he was when he played with KD.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. So it's a pretty wild list to me. I mean, just by including Ibaka on there. So that's how I felt like it might have been a little bit of a shot, maybe.
Maybe. Mm-hmm. That's all good.
KD, I'm tired of hearing about KD.
Oh, the Nets.
Non-basketball.
That's what I want to say.
Yeah.
The fucking well, when they first got together, everybody's bringing up all the different situations that would happen to why they wouldn't work, and people just failed to talk about the main thing that's gonna hurt them: the fucking injury bug. These motherfuckers can't stay healthy.
Killing them.
Like it's like they played like 7 games together since they've been there.
Yeah. Harden's out indefinitely now. He had a major setback with his hamstring.
Wrong.
Playoffs are
it
2 weeks away.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they're not going to need him.
And
through the first 2 rounds, probably.
Well, I guess you put KD in that category, too.
At least the first round, they're not going to need James Harden.
But ironically, the one that's been the healthiest is the one that always usually gets hurt. It's Kyrie. He's been the most consistent player.
When is KD supposed to come back?
He's already back.
Tomorrow.
He's been resting between these games.
Yeah, you're right. I remember when he came back. You're right. So, I mean, yeah, the injury thing is huge for him. They had a motherfucker retire just out of nowhere.
And again, people thinking that the East is locked for them. The East is pretty fucking tough.
I mean, you can run into
squads in there.
Yeah, it's some people, some teams that are going to come up, like the Knicks or what other team were we talking about prior to that?
Shit.
Oh, the Wizards, right?
That is what we were talking
they
about,
come
but I
up,
don't think they're
but
like
the Hawks,
legitimate.
Yeah, I mean, they're not somebody that you want to take lightly, necessarily. You can
the Bulls
in a series.
Now that I got Vucevic, they're gonna be a problem.
Nah, there's like 4 or 5 legit teams. It still is Milwaukee, Philly, Boston.
Right.
Yeah, we've been doing pretty good.
Knicks are 4th right now.
It's right now Nets, Philly, Milwaukee, New York, Atlanta, Boston, Miami. Can't forget about Miami.
Yeah.
Charlotte, Indiana,
Miami
Washington.
anymore.
People weren't sold on them last year. They was in the finals, though.
Yeah, they were much better.
This year they've been garbage.
Yeah, they haven't been good. I don't think they can just turn it on.
We'll see what happens.
All of a sudden.
They actually picked it up. They was like way out of the playoffs for a while, and they actually went on a little winning streak because they had health issues early in the season too. I think all their guards was hurt for like a long time. Jimmy, Dragic, and some other one, and Hero. All 3 of them was staying hurt in the beginning of the season. Now they all been healthy, so we'll see how it go.
I've lost a little bit of confidence in the Nets though, just based on their injury. Or injuries that, or I guess specifically, it'd be James Harden. But I still think they'll end up in the Eastern Conference Finals ultimately. But am I saying that they're an automatic?
You don't think it make a difference if they just got Kyrie and KD?
Yeah, it would be fire.
Not all 3 of them. It's going to be a little tougher in the playoffs.
Yeah, right. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. You can't necessarily just say, hey, they're going to make the finals.
It would be fire if they win the championship without Harden.
Yeah.
It would be.
Why would it be fire?
Because I fucking hate Harden still. I mean, I don't want Kyrie to get another, but it is what it is. It would be great if he got traded over there to put them over the top, and then with him being out, KD and Kyrie carried the team. That would be hilarious.
Why you win so bad Harden, bro?
I hate him. But I really hate Kyrie more.
Like to see him win a championship so he can get that monkey off his back.
I hate Kyrie more. If he didn't have any championships, then I would flip it. But he's already got one, so I mean, it doesn't really do anything.
Right.
But we're out of time. If we're doing samples, we got to do them now.
I don't have one, so that'll save
there
you guys
we go. Save us a quick minute there. Mine's not going to be guessable. I'd never heard this song before in my life, but I thought it was a cool little flip.
Are we gonna do Peace Out?
This is true.
Yeah.
You're on the YouTube.
Oh yeah.
We
appreciate you. We'll be back next week.
Yes, sir.
Peace out.
Listen to audio.
You're on the audio.
See the samples.
Them samples are coming.
Peace.
Deuces.